The four problems of collective action are so formidable you might think, well, we never act collectively. But we do. We do join, we do give, we do vote, at least sometimes. The great puzzle is how we overcome those problems. In this book, I argue that we overcome the problems of collective action by telling stories. We humans are storytelling animals. As Barbara Hardy has said, we dream in narrative, daydream in narrative, remember, anticipate, hope, despair, believe, doubt, plan, revise, criticize, construct, gossip, learn, hate, and live by narrative. But first, what's a story? I'm going to tell a short story, very short. A tiger, a hunter, a tiger. That's it, short story. Already though, you see it has plot. It had a beginning, a middle, and an end. And it had a lot of other features of narrative that I'm going to talk about. And I argue that there are basically four plots. Now, one story begins with, things are pretty good. Oedipus is king, Adam and Eve are in the Garden of Eden. Some complicating action puts the story in motion. Snake shows up, starts talking about an apple. Will Adam be tempted by that apple and eat it? There's a danger that the plot starts to fall. But of course, we know how that story ends. He eats the apple and he's expelled from the Garden of Eden. Classic Greek tragedy. Once upon a time, things were good, something bad happened, and it ended badly. And I called that one The Fall. Second story, second plot form. So this story begins badly, or not so great. And the action rises, and we don't know whether it's going to keep going up or not. This is Icarus flying towards the sun. There's some dramatic tension. Will he go up or not? No, he crashes to the earth. This form of the rise and fall is a favorite story too. It's a very common story of hubris. If you want, it's the arc of a human life, of ambition and ultimately of death. And I call it dust to dust. Third story. Now we get to happier tales. Again, starts not so good. Cinderella with her mean stepsisters. But then fairy godmother arrives, complicating action, goes to the ball, has a great time, loses the slipper, the prince is looking for, will they find it? Yes! It ends well with Cinderella marrying the prince. This structural form of rags to riches, of escape from slavery, is a very powerful form. In fact, it's the most, in some ways, it's the structure of the great American story, the way we imagine our history as an escape from the tyranny of Europe and a march towards freedom of ever-expanding liberties and freedoms and success. It's how we like to tell the American story. So this story I call Exodus, and we love stories that look like that. But there's one more story, and this, in a lot of ways, is our favorite story. Once upon a time, things were great, and then the dragon arrived, or something bad happened, and the action starts downward. And the hero arrives and battles the dragon. We do not know whether he will succeed or fail, but in the end, he succeeds in triumph. This is our favorite story. This tale of redemption, of resurrection, of rescuing victory from the jaws of defeat, of overcoming death for life. It is indeed the structure of the main story of the Christian Bible, the death and resurrection of Jesus. We love stories like this. In a way, they negate that other life story. It's the story of hope. No matter what happens, no matter how dark the hour, there's still hope that it will end well. And I call this story Resurrection. Four plots, and we love to put the world into one of these four plots to give it form and structure. And when we hear a set of facts, this is what we do. We put it into one of these stories.